Welcome to day 2 of Music Frontiers. I think yesterday was an incredible day, and it really puts into perspective how much change there's going to be with AI in the entire music ecosystem, from creativity to really everything. And I just want to say thank you to Matthias again and his team for such a wonderful conference. I know we're only halfway through, but it's been brilliant so far. And yeah, it gives me great pleasure to have a chat with this man.
My friend.
My friend Daniel.
Yeah.
Someone at the intersection of music and tech. So Daniel, as an artist, has over 4 million record sales, 9 billion streams. As an artist, as a songwriter, countless number ones, and now based in San Francisco, has been working with countless startups and have your own one now.
Oh, wow. So last 3 days, we had Boy George, Imogen Heap, much of Sugar Babes, All Saints, Mark Hill, Artful Dodger, everybody noisier. In drum and bass and garage, come down and make a hook camp with us. And we sat for 3 days and made about 50 songs.
Wow.
And by the way, are you able to stream anything from the internet on there? If you go to hookathon.ai, I would really love that to be in the back, because that would help me explain what I'm doing.
Well, you mentioned to me last night that you said that the bottom of the music industry is fundamentally broken. I mean, what do you mean by that?
So as an artist, we get really creative at about 3 a.m. and make a song, and it's brilliant. And then, actually, we don't know if it's brilliant, that's the problem. And then we wake up the next day and try to make the rest of it, and it usually doesn't work. And so we leave it on a hard drive. And then we ask our girlfriend or our grandma or boyfriend. If it's good, we ask an A&R man as if they fucking know what they're doing. TikTok knows exactly what a hit is. It knows it really, really fast. You upload it to TikTok, it blows up or it doesn't. It could be the visuals, it could be the music. So you can figure out maybe a lot of different visuals. But the main thing is, it can tell me what my next hit is. And that's what I need.
Okay, awesome.
So
Because
I'm picking, yeah.
Because you mentioned Hookathon AI. So what's really cool, so you're saying in the last 72 hours, basically, from nothing, you've kind of put together this writing camp, which has got, 10 top liners, 10 producers?
It was 30 people.
30 people, wow, okay. And so you've done this in partnership with Lovable, is that right?
That's right. So they built the site that hopefully we can show. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to check. Can I just check, is anyone actually able to put something on the screen from the internet behind me? No? Hookathon.ai, is it possible to put it up here so people can see? Let them try, okay. So they built this site in 3 hours, really, 3 days. They had it up within 10 hours after starting. I don't know if you guys have used Lovable. There's lots of things that they're still figuring out, but basically you can build anything, any kind of app immediately, just from a conversation.
Okay, fair enough. And in terms of, you mentioned, I think the other thing you were talking about was how the AI creative process, and because you're one of the few early adopters, aren't you? I've seen some of your work where you're really interacting with AI to create. Is that something? How do you feel that sort of artists going forward are going to use AI in their creative work?
Yeah, I got Making Waves. I'm the first person to ever use a sampler on a PC and have a hit with it. I got Making Waves with 300 people. So, so AI should be working for us. It should be serving us. Right now, it's going to replace us the way it's going, because the people who are building AI music don't understand music and they don't understand tech, and the people who are building the tech stuff, and if you see with the crypto stuff in the last 5 years, the music things failed because they didn't understand tech, and the tech things failed because they didn't understand music. And we need bridges, people like Imogen Heap and Will.i.am, who actually understand both sides. So what I'm doing with Will and Imogen is to begin to build that solid bridge and to start partnerships between AI companies and music companies, so we actually know what we're doing. We're thinking of doing a conference where we bring in all the AI mixing and mastering people together with Tony Maserati and Serban Ganier and Manny Marikin, Jack Joseph Puig, and all these different kinds of mixes to decide how we're actually going to make it work. So these two industries, they have this huge divide in between. Tech people don't really have great taste, and people with taste have terrible ability to organize their thoughts. If we get together we start to create an ecosystem. The people that are in this conference right now, if we all just did this, we'd be able to solve a lot of things very quickly. Very few people are focused on the big picture. We're capitalists. We're trying to go 0 to 1. We think we're in competition with each other. But we are about to get replaced unless we figure out how to teach and train AI to make what we need. We get caught up on things like attribution. There's probably only 5,000 to 10,000 people who are making enough money from music to pay their mortgage in the world. You go ahead, steal my music. What I care about is good music. If you heard the best song in your life, would you really care if it was made by AI or a person? If the mix is right, if the songs are right, it doesn't really matter. But we need to get together and start to lead that conversation together, because we only each have half the picture.
Okay, so one of the things I've noticed recently, just on social media, is there's this incredible amount of AI slop, right? Whether that's on any platform now.
This is the reason.
Yes. Okay. So how can you sort of stop that? How can you break through now? As a young musician, how would you recommend they break through this noise?
Until we change that, I don't think we can. So one of the things that's broken, like I said, I've got 1,000 songs on my hard drive. Kanye has 1,000 songs. He is unable to identify them. We need to link a way to make just the hook go viral on TikTok, and then that means that that's my single. We're still not able to get that up here, are we? So it's like a pyramid, like an Olympic pyramid, with the songs that we released 3 days ago at the top, and they're gaining traction, and it shows the views they have, and his second and third. And if one of them reaches 3 million, then my Ghazi will sign it from Empire, and my deal with him is that he doesn't have to sign anything we don't make viral. So I have a new record company called Future of Records with Ghazi and Empire Records, and that's what we're doing. So there are lots of different arguments about how to make something viral, but if the music is out there, the people will do duets, they'll film their own dances, they'll do all kinds of things, and I believe that the influencer deserves a cut in that song if they blow it up. So there's a little dotted line at the top. When one song breaks through and gets to 3 million, that person, within about a week, whoever has the highest views, will gain a part of the song. They say they discovered it. They'll walk on the red carpet with that artist, and they'll be like, I discovered Michael Jackson, and I think that's going to work.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. I think, so from an ethical perspective, do you have any sort of restraints around, like, any opinions on that with AI and the creative process?
We're not going to reach anything until we solve attribution. Attribution is created at the ground up. If we don't have anything to train our models on that's good, the music's going to be shit, so the attribution models will be underfunded and die off, and then the things that exist, and Trump-backed, use everything, Japan-backed, use everything, will succeed, and the music will end up being incredible, and artists won't get paid. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with these attribution models failing. They need incredible music to have their music trained on, and I want to make that happen in the next 3 years by bringing the world's pop stars and writers and producers together to fix it, and we have to work together as an industry. And so if you would like to help me do that and link with other people, work with collaboration, instead of fighting each other, we just need to choose this, because we're about to be replaced the way this is going.
Okay, I think that ties in, because I think, did you do some work with voices or something where you're sort of talking about licensing artists?
Yeah.
Well, is that a startup that you worked with as well?
Yes. Yeah. Do you guys know much about, did Imogen speak here? Imogen Heap? We need to figure out DID, decentralized identity or digital identity. It needs to contain your metadata. There needs to be an authentication of that I am me. That we can talk about how that's done. Then I need to have my voice models need to be trained on my voice with all the licenses. We start without government because that's too slow. We start without law. We start by putting our voices up. This is what Imogen's doing, creating a shitty version of your voice. Then you can talk about it later in lawsuits when we actually make that law. Versions is doing, he's wonderful. I put all my vocals up. They track them, people use them, and then through fiat, it's given back to me, which doesn't solve a lot of problems, fiat, but until crypto sorts itself out, we're going to have to do everything fiat.
So do you think that the future of the music industry has this Web3 layer on it?
It will. It has to. It has to be smart contracts. It has to be microtransactions. I think that we're losing 30% of the... Music cannot be a $23 billion industry. Touring's 50. I think we're losing a huge amount of money to microtransactions. If someone wants to license my song, and it costs £30 for the person to process my thing, that £30 that I'm supposed to get is going to be rejected. If the machines are doing it, then I'm going to make another third. So collaboration is the future. I put a song out, everyone remixes it, it goes viral, I make money. That's the way it's going to go.
Okay, so lots of the chatter I've been hearing sort of outside over the last, over yesterday has been about labeling on AI. Do you have thoughts on that? And do you have any idea how that would be feasible? Because obviously the majors have, I know that there's some people from Suno here, so I'm not we love Suno, but it's sort of, I know that there is kind of major label investment in sort of a lot of these generation platforms. And do you think that labeling AI content is something that needs to happen on the future?
The two only intelligent men that I met met a lot of intelligent women in the music industry. The only two intelligent men that I met in the whole time, I can't say their names, wouldn't be able to get a job in one startup. This is not a smart industry. It's not run by smart people. They're not thinking ahead. I have conversations with them about it. It's all about control. This is mob money, and they're still using mob tactics. If we allow them to even have a seat at the table, if we allow them to lead the conversation, if we try to get them on board, they will continue to take power and control. We need to get together, the biggest musicians in the world, with the right tech people, with everyone working together to solve this. Second city theory says you don't try to infiltrate an oppressive regime. And try to change them. You don't go into the Catholic Church and try to get them to stop XYZ, because you'll just become corrupted by the bullshit that you're surrounded by. You build a second city much faster, much taller. You become 0 to 1, and then the record companies will have to ask us what to do, because we're going to have all the hits. That's the only way we can do this. And I know everybody that I can get anyone on the phone. I have no desire to be seen as any kind of figurehead. I'm a father. I set, like what Matthias is doing, I set the space for safety and freedom. I invite all the people to the seats and to feel safe there, and then we build together. This industry has never been led by record companies, and it shouldn't be. They're there to make money from us.
Okay, so what do you think, in sort of 5 years' time, what does a thriving music industry look like? Thriving music is when my 7-year-old daughter thinks of a song, la la la. AI upscales the vocal. She goes, I want to go boom, chikum, boom, and it goes boom, boom, boom. She's no, I want the reggae, dank, dank, dank. So boom, 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 dank, dank, boom, 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 boom. She's like, dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum, boom, dank, boom, boom. Baby, I'll show it together. I'll show it. Yeah. I can't do it. That's too many tracks. And then she goes, no. It's like Boy George. And then I can't sing it. She goes, and it goes, she's like, yeah, like the 80s song I heard with the, what's it called? That sound. So they put the right reverb on it. No, like older, like my pops. How old is your pops? He's fucking 55. Okay. So that's the conversation that she'll be able to have. And then a fairly talented guitarist at 17 years old will come on stage, or a 47-year-old guitarist who's not very good will come on, and he's trained all of the songs that he loves. It's scoured all of the music that he's ever listened to, all his playlists, and he's just playing, and there's choir singing behind, and it feels like Satan's coming to destroy your soul, and Jesus wants to save you, and you're an atheist, and so that's really confusing, and there's that kind of tension. And here he is, just leading crowds of thousands of people with his shitty guitar playing, and everything sounds amazing, and they love him, and he's really overweight, and he's like, he can't get out of his bedroom, but he gets out of his bedroom, he comes on stage, he does his thing, he's the biggest star in the world. Do I need to work with the most awful human beings in the world to be a pop star? Drummers are terrible, bass players are terrible, managers are terrible. Why do I have to leave my house and deal with all this horrible chatter? We haven't even got an AI bot that blocks people from leaving negative messages on my page. If I showed up and they typed it in, you piece of fuck, and then it wouldn't even let it say, you horrible person. You can't even type negative things to me, then I would actually hang out with them. So there's a bunch of things. All the brains are here at this conference to solve everything. All you need to do is
join me, I join you, we get all the right people in, and we fix it quickly.
So optimistic then.
It's not optimistic. These are really smart people here. Musicians are incredible. It's not optimistic.
No, I meant optimistic about the state of music industry.
No. European music is completely dead in America. We haven't had a single hit in, 5 years, Estella? Oh, she's not here. We have no relevance in America at all. And we say it's because there's a growing divide between Europe. If we made good music, they'd be listening to it.
Okay, awesome. I know that we started a bit late, so I think we've got some time for questions, if there's anyone who wants to ask.
How long have we got?
We've got 10 minutes left.
Okay. I would like to ask you some questions. If you were invited to a group of people who actually thought they could fix it because we took the power into our hands instead of trying to scale, instead of trying to raise and try and runway and all this stuff, out-compete each other, if you were in a room with all the right people that you could imagine, your dream team, would you come? Yes. Okay. Are you willing to reach out to me and Estella at the end and start to talk about how to create that this year? Is anyone willing to? Okay. My brain ran out of questions suddenly.
Does anyone have any questions for Daniel? Have we got someone, or I'll just come down? There you go.
What's your email address?
That's good. It's Daniel Beding, FLD@gmail. Please don't make it public. We can scrape it from the
Sorry, that was it. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, my Gmail is estella.reed@gmail.com. She's my ops. And yours.
I guess it's not so much of a question. I think it's just probably amusing if you give me like 20 seconds. I feel like I do think there's a shift in power, and I think now is a very good time and actually vital, critical, important time for this to happen. I think if we'll talk about what I'm doing, but I think one of the learnings from what I'm doing is like, in my space, there's so many people trying to all solve the same problem on their own in isolation while at the same time competing with each other. That's why I love this idea of everyone, like, we can't fix the problem in silos because it's the same problem, right? All compete. So we need to find a mechanism where all of these people can just act together impartially and a system, and like that's what needs to happen. I'm just wondering how you see that.
Yeah, so we just did this first writing camp with, like I said, Boy George, Imogen Heap, M&EK, all the originators of drum and bass and garage, Wookie, Sticky, all the Noisia ran the whole thing. So now we're going to LA with Bauer and Machine Drum. If anybody understands what that means in their world, that's absolutely crazy. Then we're going to do ADE with Lovable. I'm sorry that I didn't sort out that for you to see what they built in 3 days, but we built this hierarchy where the songs that we just released are going to the top, and as they rise in social, they will get signed once they reach 3 million. It's like a game. It's delicious, super gamified. Then I'm doing, with Major Lazer, Welshie Major Lazer, I'm doing Art Basel. I'm going to start to put on these hookathons where I bring the world's best people to write hooks, blow them up on social. I'm going to do this in all your cities eventually, all major cities that are near you that have musicians that are incredible. We're starting with drum and bass and garage because those are the only two music styles that are rising in the UK. I'm going to blow them up in the UK and then take them over. Eventually we'll be doing other styles. If you want to host one of these hookathons and you can help me, I've got Lovable is sponsoring mine, but I need another 60K on top to blow things up generally onto what I have. If you can help me find sponsors, if you want to host a hookathon, I will bring the world thought leaders to your hookathon to solve this problem, and we can all do it together.
Amazing. Briefly, so I'm like 19, 20 years into a major label, major publishing career, right? So I've been sitting in that chair over there, and I know in those companies, there's actually more than a sort of reluctance to solve it. There's actually like a kind of real fatigue with like
Absolutely.
all of these companies coming. It's like, say there's like 100 companies coming to them every month. We can fix it. And because they're all small, it's like they're being hit by pea shooters,
but
right?
they don't have the brain size to cope with the deals that they're being sold.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is if all of those individual companies could like orb together into one big thing,
Collaboration.
then
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
So if anyone wants to do that with me, that's what I'm going to do. We're about to do, hopefully, an NYU, possibly ADE event where one side is building AI hits, the other side is the best top-line writers of all time that are still alive, and we're competing to see who can win, who can write the better song, and then we check TikTok to see what's blowing up, and each year we'll do it again, and I suspect the humans will win for the first 2 years, and then AI is going to crush it on the third year, and I think that's a really good story.
I think one thing to add is, well, this is for you, Daniel, but I think to add that this is this hackathon is end to end, so like you're flying back after this, you're going to DJ AG, which if anyone knows on Instagram is probably the biggest music kind of influencer. So that is that tonight?
Yeah. Boy George, I can't say that. Nothing's happening tonight. I'm going on with a whole bunch of amazing people tonight to push these hooks out that we made in this hookathon. I'm going to do that every time. I'm going to write these crazy things, give them a chance to blow. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions?
No questions!
There's one there.
How dare you? We bored them.
Hey, I actually have two questions. One is, how do you make sure to not be dependent on TikTok? Because how you sold this so far is you want to blow things up through TikTok, but what if TikTok won't work anymore? I mean, it was closed
that's fine. It's a
before.
funnel, right? So everyone we draw into our thing. If TikTok changes, we move to another thing. We start our own thing. We all work together.
And the second one, just quickly, how would that transfer to smaller artists?
Small artists have a much better chance on TikTok. Nobody has broken through in the last 20 years, really. But you could probably name 10 artists. Small artists don't exist. They can't pay their mortgage. Nobody can pay their mortgage. The rich, the people making massive royalties can barely pay their mortgage right now. Music is dead. We are screwed unless we fix the bottom end, which is how do you identify hits quickly? How do you get them to blow up? How do you pump money into them so they blow up? I could be turning on Spotify in 3 years' time and I'm just hearing, like the 90s, just constant new music that I like, and it's because of the bottom is broken in AI music and the bottom is broken in the music industry, and I want to link those two together, not by myself. There are so many people who will immediately jump on board if they knew we were all in this room. Just everyone in this conference was doing it together. We are set. We're not in competition with record companies. They're not leading anything. People keep coming with 100 companies to record companies because they think that's leading. They're not leading anything. We are the leaders. And we don't want to be arrogant, so we tell ourselves, no. We are the leaders. The smart people are dead. We're all that's left. If you were a medium genius 20 years ago, you are now one of the smartest people in the world. We are dying as a human race. We're getting dumber. We need to start leading. I'm old enough at 45 to decide to be a father and take responsibility for what I'm going to do with my inaction to the future of music if I don't start to lead. So my style of leadership is like Richard Branson, like my father, where I get my smartest friends in the room, give them agency and support. Is that party vibe. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I can do that, and I like it. I'm not very humble, I really apologize, but I didn't accidentally write a #1 hit at 18. I listened to what needed to happen. I'm a coder. It's a very autistic thing. It's a savant thing. And I wrote the right song that I thought would work. I wrote like 50, and one of them broke through. We need to be confident and work together. We are more than the people who would like to make money from us. Record companies are not the enemy. We shouldn't even be thinking about them. We should be replacing them.
I think we've got time for one more question.
There's unfortunately a lot of video content on the internet that supports that statement about humankind getting dumber. But
It's true.
yeah, right.
But they'll still respond to hits. They'll still respond to hooks.
That's the
Hooks are
thing.
universal.
Yeah.
If you got We Will Rock You, you are a queen.
Yeah. I've been telling people for the last 2 years, like the quickest hack in the music industry is that the old rules about songs still cutting through apply. But Hugo,
One guy behind.
so I wanted to ask you guys about Web3, just in terms of there's a lot of conversation around what will happen to socials with Web3 and spatial internet. You know, which ones, if any, will survive.
Web3
or
music
go on,
failed
things
because
like
they don't
that.
have any music taste at all.
Right. So, in terms of scaling or in terms of adapting, you know, how do you see this platform sort of transcribing into that space?
I
or
will wait
translating into
until
that
Web3
space? Yeah.
is not a pariah, and then everyone will use it and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the failure with a lot of the initial Web3 platforms that deal with sort of investing in music and buying and selling music are very much targeted at Web3 native audiences. And so I'm potentially I haven't decided whether or not to do some work on this platform. There's a platform that's just launched, which has got buy-in from the likes of Skepta, Jamie, like the entire UK grime community. They're just about to list quite a lot of their back catalogue on it. It's called Straight Bass, and that is based on a Web3 like architecture, but from a consumer's perspective, there's no mention of it whatsoever. It's just fiat. There's none. That's the one. I think one of the big things about Web3 is that people go off into this silo. They work on Web3. They don't understand that 99% of consumers don't know anything about it, and that's the biggest problem for me.
No wallets. Google sign up. I'm making money. When the money is large enough, it says, get a wallet. And then, okay, I'm not getting a wallet till I got like $1,000 in there. And then, I'll sign up and then get my $1,000. But before that, let's just keep it fiat on the surface.
Last question.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a question, it's a suggestion or a request. I think we should actually stop saying the word Web3 because, like Daniel says, it's become such a pariah. Like I was at a conference 6 months ago and someone asked, they were like, well, guys, surely Web3 is just the answer.
That's true. But I really wanted to hear this question.
Oh my God, I thought you were pointing to me.
No, I deeply apologise.
Listen, Daniel, thanks.
You're very correct.
I've got the microphone though.
I have one too. First of all, it really is refreshing to hear the perspective. Primarily because you're talking about, when we speak about creativity, you're actually talking about people making music and a way through. What about other genres, other forms of expression in music? Are there compatible?
They're all compatible.
Have you considered like longer form pieces?
Longer form pieces. Everything's compatible with AI. We just haven't been designing it by musicians. We've been designing it by techs. Well, let's do it. The longest form. Everything's going short form and like series, like 7 series. Everything's going long form and short form. Let's take them both seriously. Because I'm ADD, I love both. Everything's becoming shorter. I'm like, thank God, I was listening to 3.5 minutes of what? 1 minute's good for me, mate.
That answers that.
Okay, thanks. I think that's time. I know Daniel's going to be here for a few hours, wanting to chat to everyone before flying off to London. Are you playing at King's Cross? Nice. All right, awesome.
Bless you guys. Come and talk to me. I've got a couple of hours. Let's go change shit.